Let me see. I'm going to make this available. I'm getting ready to hold a workshop and I'm trying to get myself ready. Hey, let me see here. Alrighty. I don't see too many people popping in because I'm not doing readings, but that's okay. Because I'm about to do this workshop real quick. Live. Release the shadow workshop. I'm setting up on like 3 different platforms like I normally do. And what else am I looking for? You fought off your sleep. Oh, you don't have to fight your sleep off, love. It's going to be a replay. Okay. It's being recorded on Instagram and it's being recorded in my Facebook group. Okay. So I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Oh, wait, I need that. Canva. Let's see. All right. So all of my designs. I got to get, where's the PDF? Here we go. Let me pull this up. And all right, so thank you guys for being here. No, there's no tarot reading involved. It is a workshop, and this is going to be 21 questions, how to help release your shadow. What's up, love? What's up? So I'm very, very busy. I just converted over to ConvertKit from MailChimp, and I'm confused as hell. I'm also trying out Sam's card, so I'm trying different things to track what you guys buy better, so I'm not resending out different emails for my small business owners that want to know about Sam's cart, as opposed to I use Wix, and then WordPress comes with ConvertKit, I believe, and so I'll let you guys know about ConvertKit, Samcart, Wix, or whatever. I'm going to be revising some emails, automations, and stuff like that. But so the reason I am here today is because I put together, and this was last year. All right. How do you feel about GoDaddy? I've never been a fan of it. I just didn't like how to operate it. My husband uses it for his website. I've always had Wix. And so it's hard for me to convert from anything else because that's all I've known. So I'm trying to acclimate myself, and I'm over here driving myself crazy. Matter of fact, let me close out ConvertKit so I'm not looking at it. I've been wrecking my brain. Trying to figure out some new things for the better. And a lot of people say you can just track it better. So like I said, I'll let y'all know. All right, so as I was saying, release the shadow. Well, first of all, because this is going to be a workshop, welcome everybody. My name is Unique Divination, the spiritual entrepreneur. And I represent motivation. Well, my brand and my mission goal is motivation, personal power, emotional healing, and spiritual development. So all of my products, no matter what they do, no matter what they are, they all revert back to those main core things: personal power, motivation, emotional healing, and spiritual development. I provide physical products, I provide candle magic services, I provide digital content, I provide free promotion. All of it is designed to help with personal power, motivation, emotional healing, and spiritual development. Vistaprint is using it now, not the best. Oh, okay. So with that being said, I used to run a coven. I would still say it's there, but it's in a different capacity. It's Urban Mystic Academy. And I had a lot of content that I was giving. And since I don't really use that platform anymore, I was just sitting on a whole lot of content, and I was like, how can I get it out to everybody? And so I'm repurposing the content and I'm providing it to you guys, right? And what I came across was some shadow work. About 3 years ago, I used to do a lot of challenges when I first started. That's a good way to get for my small business owners. That's a good way to get people to join you in community, subscribe, and bring traffic to your page. So I had a tarot challenge. It was 21-day release your shadow. And so for each day for 21 days straight, I posted a question and I got the answer by pulling a tarot card and elaborating from that answer from what the tarot card said. So you can 100% implement this with tarot, oracle cards, any type of divination tools that you feel like you want to use. You can use it to go with these questions, right? Excuse me, y'all. I work a regular job, and then I come and do this. So, but yeah, so you can use it with tarot and any other type of divination tools, right? Um, so let's get into it. Get your pens and papers, by the way. Make sure you have pens and papers. I always forget to say that in the beginning of a workshop. So I'm not going to get too deep into shadow work because it can get very deep. Just look up Carl Jung. Some people say Young, some people say Jung. Carl Jung. Okay, he coined that term. He's a psychiatrist, psychologist, and he worked with inner shadow and dealing with archetypes as well, which I want to get into at some point. Also, I'll be creating content about archetypes. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of archetypes. One of them, a few of them that y'all may be familiar with, is when people talk about the wounded child, right? Oh, I forgot that I was on I had YouTube, but make sure you can see me. Did I change my name? No. So is it recommended to divine with the process? You don't have to. If you feel like you're able to, then go ahead. Okay. Could you guys not see me for a minute? I got to figure out how. I might have to get off Facebook. Hold on. Let me see something here. I might have to get off my Facebook because I need something where I could see the I'm just gonna give them the link. This is my problem. I'm gonna be trying to be on like 100 different platforms. Hold on, bear with me, guys. I'm just gonna share this. Yeah, I accidentally had the PDF up. I totally forgot that I was on YouTube with this. So what I'm gonna do is just drop this link into the group and just let them know that I'm live now. All right, hold on. Thank you guys for being patient. All right, so that's how we gonna work that, because I gotta see. What if we are beginner tarot readers? Do you think it would still be effective? I'm still learning. I'm 100%. I'm gonna tell you, if you feel like you can do some type of divination, I would definitely do it, because all it's gonna do is enhance your abilities, right? So you can not only ask the question, you can answer it without the cards and add the cards as a supplement to whatever you came up with, right? So I would definitely do that. And then if you reprint the journal again, maybe 3 to 6 months later, you'll be amazed at how the answers may change. So I would say go for it. I would definitely say go for it if you can, right? All it's going to do is better your skills. It's going to up your skills with divinating the card, and it's going to help with your intuition with the cards as well. And so, as I was saying, shadow work was coined by Carl Jung. And basically, this says we all have demons inside of us every day. We fight against them. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. These demons haunting us can be seen either in small glimpses or in full chaos. And because of our guilt and shame, we tend to ignore and bury them. We think that they should stay hidden because they cannot and should not exist in our conscious self. The society tells us to focus on the good things like love and light, but never the darkness or shadow. Focusing solely on your positive side is easy and comfortable. It's no wonder the majority of us avoid the darker part of our personalities. Okay. Let me get my glasses because I cannot see. I don't even know why. I don't know if y'all saw my shorts. Sorry. All right. So, and another thing that people need to understand. Another thing that people need to understand is that not all bad things are in your shadow. And if you've ever had a reading with me and shadow work has come up, I always like to give this little story, right? And it's about a little girl. She lives with her family, her mom, her dad, and her two brothers, right? And then mom's in a car accident and dies, right? Well, before mom's in a car accident, before mom dies, this little girl's lively. She's outgoing. She's a leader. She's creative. She's outspoken. She just has all these great things going for her. And then when mom dies, she's there to live with her brothers and her father. Automatically, her father tells her, because she's a girl, or girls are to be seen and not heard. She needs to cook for her brothers and sisters. She has to go last before all the men in the house. Kind of, they make her meek and timid, and bring down her low self-esteem, and just treat her, because she's the only woman or the only female in the house, they just treat her like crap, right? And so all of those great qualities that she had when her mother was alive, outgoing, a leader, lively, creative, they get put in her shadow. Okay, so that's what people got to understand, that not only are bad things or negative things in your shadow, the things that you don't like about yourself, sometimes there are good qualities in your shadow as well. If you've gone through anything traumatic, or you've been bullied or something like that, or you've been made for your self-esteem to become low, you can force those good qualities into your shadow. Okay, so that's what we all got to remember, is that good things also are in your shadow as well. So I already talked about that. Shadow, a term coined by a psychiatrist by the name of Carl Jung, focuses on the dark side of us if we choose to not focus on it. Shadow work is doing the work to integrate and heal your shadow. This will allow you to be a more complete person, and you will be able to confront your demons in your own soul. The PDF poses 21 questions that will help you heal your soul. They are broken down into 4 stages of shadow work. All right, it's recommended to do 1 question a day. You can use a divination tool. I already went over all that. So there's 4 stages of shadow work. YouTube, if you can do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Instagram, if you just want to shoot this off to somebody who you think is going to need this, go ahead and do so. So the first stage of shadow work is denial, right? Those aspects that we deny, disown, and reject about ourselves are usually those that we filed away. Again, this could be good things, this could be bad things. And sometimes, say if you're in a relationship and your partner tells you about yourself and you just don't want to hear it because you don't think you're that type of person. Thank you, love. So yeah, we all have it. My significant other, my husband, tells me things about myself that I don't want to hear all the time. I think I'm always right. No, I don't. Yes, I do. And I always come home and look for things to bitch about, which I do. But at first I didn't want to admit it. You know what I mean? So there are just things about myself that I just didn't want to come to grips with. Sometimes being egocentric, self-seeking, attention. Everything's always about me in certain situations. And I was in denial about that at first. You know what I mean? So the questions for the first stage of shadow work, the first one is, who am I? And, when we ask ourselves that question, the first thing we want to say is, oh, I'm unique. No, who are you? Who are you as a person? So you can get as deep as you want with that question. You know what I mean? The second one is, what do I need to do? What do I need to stop running away from? What do I need to stop running away from? What do I need to stop running away from? A lot of us are running away from greatness. We're running away from uh, fitting in, or being an individual and not fitting in, so to speak. The third question is, what is the source of my greatest fear? What is the source of our greatest fear? That could be, oh, I didn't even do the text, y'all. Hold on. I'm tripping. Hold on. Hold on. I want YouTube and IG for release the shadow workshop. I completely forgot. So what is the source of my greatest fear? That's a really deep question. We all have fears, but what's your greatest fear? Anybody want to throw something out there, that's fine too. But my greatest fear is not being accepted. I would say that's one of them. I have a few. My greatest fear is not being accepted, and or not being able to provide for my children. That's a few. I have a few. Dying before my kids grow up. Failure. Right. So it don't have to be just one. It could be several. The Geechee Fairy Godmother says failure is her greatest fear. Amounting to nothing, never being actually loved is what Katrina says. Yeah, the Geechee Fairy Godmother says not being loved for who I am. So, right, and just knowing and being aware of that. Nobody's seeing the true me. Right. So we all have multiple things. You can list them all, and then you can address them one at a time, but list as many. Right. The next one is, what is the greatest lie I keep feeding myself? I know mine's is that I'm not capable to be great. When you come from a background of poverty, you have a feeling like you can never get out of it. And so I would say the greatest lie that I keep feeding myself is that I won't make it. Losing my child is one of my fears. Right. So the greatest lie I tell myself is that I won't amount to anything. I am weaker than others around me, Katrina says. These are some really deep hitting questions. You know what I mean? And they really make you think. And like I said, once all of these things are brought to the table, this is how you heal, but you have to address it. And this is why this is called the denial stage. This is the first stage of shadow work. It's denial. All right. And so again, we've got, who am I? What do I need to stop running away from? What is the source of my greatest fear? What is the greatest lie I keep telling myself? Now, we're going to move on to the second stage of shadow work. And this is projection. And we all do this, and we all know someone who does it too, right? We can identify it by paying attention to our judgment of other people. So, and they say that the things that annoy you the most about other people, it's something about yourself. You know what I mean? Always judging other people and criticizing other people for things, and it's really projection. It's what you don't like about yourself. You see it in other people, so It irritates you so bad. Mine's is, I guess, when I see people overeating or eating too much, because I have that problem. So I already know I project. I always try to get on my husband and manage what the hell he's eating. Meanwhile, when ain't nobody looking, I'm eating some shit I ain't got no business eating, right? But can't nobody see me because I do it when ain't nobody looking. You know what I mean? It's just, we all have these things that we project on other people, but it's really all about us. The first question is, what do I hate about other people? Right? What do I hate about others? There's a lot of things I could sit there and say I hate, but then it's like, again, throwing it back on myself, you know. In what ways do you project your feelings onto others? In what way do you project your feelings onto other people? I definitely, as for myself, I feel like other people should feel the way I do, especially people around me, which is not right, but I know these things about myself. I've gotten better with it over the years, in my younger years, but what? Ooh. In what ways do you project your feelings onto other people? Trying to be a perfectionist, expecting other people to be a perfectionist. Alexis, yes, I try to have more grace when I find myself judging, but it's still hard. It is hard. We're human. But the main thing is to be aware, and just to try every day to do better, Third question is, why don't you express how you truly feel? I know for myself, I don't express how I truly feel because I feel like, number one, nobody's going to care. Or number two, I'm going to run people off. Number three, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So those are some reasons why I don't express how I truly feel. Right? How can we rebuild our self-esteem so that we are not projecting onto other people? How can we rebuild our self-esteem so that we are not projecting onto others? How can we rebuild our self-esteem so that we are not projecting on others? Well, the first thing that I always tell myself is the only thing perfect is imperfection. Nobody's perfect, nothing is perfect. And I try to work from that standpoint. And I also try to work from knowing that if somebody's at least trying and striving to do better than they did the day before, then that's all that matters. Rebuilding your own self-esteem, for me, I do that by affirmations. I do that definitely by affirmations, working on myself, trying to educate myself spiritually. I learned about the archetypes, and, the inner child, the wounded child, the healed child, the victim archetype. There's so many different archetypes, and learning my natal chart, right, and my birth chart and how I operate kind of helped me understand who I was as a person and how I interacted with people. I got so used to, Geechee Fairy Godmother says, I got so used to bottling up my feelings that I now have to learn how to express myself. And it is a challenge. It is a challenge because you don't know how people are going to take it. And sometimes we care about other people's feelings more than our own. And it's okay. Like, if you can't be around somebody that doesn't allow you to express yourself, whether they agree or disagree with you, then that's a problem. We all should be able to express ourselves. And so with that being said, if I want to express myself, I have to allow other people to express themselves, whether I agree with it or not. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes that's really hard. So those are the things that I work on to rebuild my self-esteem so that I'm not projecting on others. Does anybody else have anything they want to share about how you can rebuild your self-esteem so that you're not projecting. In what ways do you rebuild your self-esteem? I talked about affirmation. Um, that's dope. Your natal chart. Okay, I did a natal chart for her. She said it's bomb and she reads it at least once a week. So affirmations for me, learning who I am spiritually through my natal chart, zodiac sign, archetypes that help me to understand how I am and how I operate. And, Capricorns come off a bit rigid at times, and we come off a little blunt and kind of non emotional. So people don't really know how to take us. So when I used to say things, people would take it a certain type of way, so I had to learn how to communicate. And because of my rough background, I was abused as a child. I had a rough childhood. I was picked on. I didn't have name brand clothes. Um, kids just picked on me bad. I lived in Massachusetts, and then I moved to the inner city of Philly. I lived in Massachusetts from 5 to 14, and then from 14 to adulthood, I lived in Philly, and I got it. I got it bad from my own community. So it took me a while. Like I didn't feel comfortable around my own community. I feel comfortable in like a eclectic group of people, a diverse group of people. And so it was hard for me. Like sometimes I felt like it was hard to identify. And that was hard. That was a piece of my self-esteem that I had to work on. Like I'm great no matter what, no matter where I came from, no matter how I talk, it doesn't take away from me, right? So Geechee Fairy Godmother says, I say positive affirmations every morning and I live my true self unapologetically, even if people judge or look at me crazy. I had to learn not to give a fuck. I used to beg for people's approval. Exactly. And that was the issue that I went through. You from Mass too? What part? I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I used to live in Falmouth. I lived in Hyannis. My grandfather was from Sandwich. He passed away. But I was blackballed as a kid. I didn't fit in. My name was unique, so I was automatically a weirdo. I didn't have brand new clothes. I was automatically a weirdo. I was the only black kid in my class sometimes in elementary school, so I was automatically blackballed. People want to touch my nose, touch my hair. It was just a weird experience. And then to be thrown from that, and then I go to Philly in the inner city. I grew up in North Philly, okay, and have to go there and told that I'm a white girl and why do I talk so proper? Like it was just crazy. And I survived. It taught me how to be, it taught me how to survive so I can survive in any type of environment. And I've had people challenge me and thought I was sweet. Like, don't get it twisted because I talk proper. Like I will go toe to toe with you. So, it was just some things that I had to go through. I didn't fit in either. I've been 5'11", wearing the size 11 shoe since 5th grade. Right. And it's like kids are cruel. So just imagine how kids are now in 2019, all the bullying and the people killing themselves, them kids couldn't survive in our day. Cause boy, I mean, and not once did I ever think about killing myself. Now I may have been depressed because I ain't had no friends. They called me Lollipop Head, Big Bird. They called me Unique the Freak. That was just like cruel. There's all these weird names and stuff like that. Just weird, you know what I mean? And so that did a lot to my self-esteem. It took me a while to accept who I was because I was pushed into this box and I could never conform. I love heavy metal. I love hip hop too, but I love me some heavy metal. Like, oh, you're a weirdo and all this other stuff. Like, I just could never find a way to fit in. And then after a while, I just stopped trying. Sound like car instead of car. Yep. And water. That's how they talking. It's wild. But so yeah. So the next question is, how can I learn to communicate my feelings so that I won't project? How can I learn to communicate my feelings so that I won't project? Number one, we've got to understand triggers. we all have our triggers, and just because something triggers you doesn't mean that it was an attack against you, or a personal attack or something like that. So I feel like, number one, in order to learn how to communicate your feelings, you got to know what triggers you, to know it's personally against you or not, right? And then, how can I learn to communicate my feelings so that I won't project? We need to learn how to articulate and not get angry. A lot of people don't know how to, or they don't have emotional intelligence. That's the word that I'm looking for. Emotional intelligence, right? And that is the ability to express how you feel. And some people just get angry, and they might be blowing up and attacking you, and it might even be for what they're angry about in the first place. You know what I mean? Especially when I come home and the house is a mess, this or that. Something done happened at work, and I come home and start fucking attacking my kids, and why y'all didn't clean this? Who didn't take the trash out? Why is this here? Why is that there? So it becomes, I transfer it into something else, and I'm not really expressing why I'm angry, and I didn't express it to who I thought it was supposed to be, who it was intended for. At work, working in a corporate environment has helped me learn how to express myself, because when shit was going down, I've had to go to HR and all this on people, but it was because it was a safe space. So taking that outside of the environment, I feel like we can learn to communicate our feelings so that we won't project. We need to be in a safe space, right? So automatically, if your partner ain't trying to hear what you're saying, that's not going to create a safe space for you to communicate your feelings. You're going to need to be in a safe space, okay? If you're around somebody who does not want to listen to what you got to say, who does not give a damn about your feelings or doesn't want to communicate at all, it's not going to work. So I would recommend a mediator, some type of mediator, an older person. If you're a couple, another couple, a married couple, somebody who's been around the block a couple times, okay, to help you with whatever it is that you need to go through. Therapy. If you can't afford a therapist, then you need to find some type of mentor or somebody. If you're into the church, I'm not knocking nobody, your pastor or whatever, I don't know, but it has to be somebody who is on a higher vibration than you and is in a better place than you are emotionally and mentally. They have to be mentally sound in order to be that third party mediator, okay? You can't have your girlfriend and she in a hot mess over here, sleeping with this, that, third, and just it's just a hot mess all over the place, fighting, carrying on, immature. That's not the type of person you want mediating all in your business, telling your business. Anybody that gossip, if they gossiping to you about somebody, they're probably going to gossip about your business too. All right, so you definitely don't want somebody who's going to be gossiping to be some type of mentor mediator for you. If there's no way for you to have a mediator or a third party to help come in to help mediate a safe space, you can write letters, you can do videos. We're in 2019. There's so many different ways that we can communicate with people until we're able to physically be in a room with one another to communicate. Me and my husband have been together for 5 years now, and we used to attack each other like crazy. We used to yell, argue. We couldn't never get our point across because we only kept thinking about what we wanted to say. We didn't want to respect each other's feelings and boundaries. And so one thing that we would do, we would walk away and then we would just text. And because I text fast. And then I got that they do the Swift text now, but I've always had that Swift thing. And I'll just be going, just texting, 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 texting. And he'd be like, damn. And it got to a point where we just got physically tired and we both wanted better and we wanted to communicate. And so what we would do is we got together and we would first start talking about the things that we needed to fix. And then we would talk about the things that we want to see each other work on. For instance, I would say, like, I know you don't like when I do this, that, and the third. This is why I do it. I'm not justifying, but this is my reaction to why this happens. So, if I work on this, is there any way that you can work on that? So then we were trading and giving and taking, right? And so that's how we met each other halfway. So create a safe space. If you can't physically be in a room, then we need to find another means. We need to text, we need a video chat. Skype, I don't know, until eventually you're going to have to learn how to physically be in the same room to have a conversation. All right. And then you lead with something that you can work on. And then in turn, you can ask your partner, can they work on that? And that's how we do that. And then you always have to end off with a good note. You can't leave on a bad note. And sometimes it's going to be times where you're not going to come to an agreement. Sometimes you're going to have to agree to disagree and walk away. But the main point is to learn how to communicate and express yourself, and say, I didn't like when you did this. And then need to hear it back that the other person didn't like when you did such and such as well. So not only are you expressing what you didn't like, but you got to take it back. You just can't give it and not take it. Okay, so that's one way. Those are a number of ways that you can learn how to communicate your feelings so that you won't project. You have to own what you've done in order for somebody else to want to own what they've done. You can't keep saying you, and not say I. All right, or the other way where it's always about me. I feel this, I feel that, I feel this, me. No, the conversation has to be a you and I type of thing. Okay, I know I mess up when I do this, right? I know one of the things that I do to my husband is it's like I gaslight, I guess, or I'll just nitpick and nitpick and nitpick and nitpick until he blows up. And then I'm like, oh, you're disrespecting me. You done came out your care. Yeah, I literally fucking bothered you for 20 minutes straight. It just kept nagging and nagging and nagging. What is somebody gonna do? So these are things that we have to be realistic about. Sometimes you gotta let people fall. And sometimes I was nagging because I know he was gonna fuck up. Point blank, period. But regardless of that, even if you know that the person's gonna make a mistake, sometimes you just gotta let them make it. And don't say I told you so after that. Let them be aware of their mistake. So, trying to prevent somebody from making mistakes, you can't do that. You make mistakes. You can't prevent everybody. Everybody has to learn on their own. So, Beyonce, I feel like I was in a position before listening to you speak about this months ago before I knew you were subscribed. That's pretty dope. Deja vu. So those are just a number of ways that we can learn how to communicate our feelings so that we won't project. You got to own it. You've got to own it. Okay. And that goes back to the first stage, which is denial. All right. So you have to own it. You have to accept it. You can't get angry when your partner says that you do this or somebody calls you on something. I get salty, even if I know I'm wrong. I don't like for nobody to call me on nothing. Like, who are you to tell me about myself? It burns me up. It's just something, but I gotta take that. You know what I mean? You gotta take it, and it gets better. Constructive criticism gets better, even if it's not constructive criticism. You can't change how some people feel about you. Sometimes all you can do is control yourself. Um, and so that's very important with learning how to communicate is controlling your emotions, not blowing up. Um, and speaking out of anger and all those other things. Third stage of shadow work, integration. We want to find those hidden aspects, bring them into the light of consciousness, dust them off, and see if we can use them to make ourselves whole again. What is my inner truth? Everybody's inner truth is different. What is my inner truth? What do you stand for at your core? Everybody has a set of morals and ethics. Everybody has a set of moral code and an ethical code. Everybody's ethical code and moral code is different. What is your inner truth? What do you stand for to the core of your heart? Right? One of my inner truths is knowledge. Um, knowledge, um, being a free spirit, right? Non-judgmental of how people choose to live their life to a certain degree. As long as it ain't hurting me and mine's, you got to let people live. What is my inner truth? Just striving to be a better person than I was yesterday. Right? What will help us move towards self-acceptance? What will help us move towards self-acceptance? What will help us move towards self-acceptance? This is really deep. I need my cards. What will help us move towards self-acceptance? What's going to help you be able to accept yourself? What can you do? Again, for me, positive affirmations. Living a non-judgmental life. If I don't judge people, and that helps me to not judge myself, right? What will help us move towards self-acceptance? Realizing the truth that everybody's not going to like you. That's a hard pill to swallow. Everybody wants to be liked and accepted. That helps me move towards self-acceptance, is that if I love myself, people will love me. True understanding, Queen Serenity says, right? What will help us move towards self-acceptance? Self-love, loving yourself. Katrina says love and acceptance, right? Loving yourself. If you don't love yourself, who's going to love you? If I don't care about myself, why should anybody else care about you? Geechee Fairy Godmother says patience with myself, right? All of these things to help us move towards self-acceptance. Realizing it will never be perfect, Katrina says. Absolutely right. Being kinder to myself. Absolutely right. All of these things are going to help us move towards self-acceptance. And if you don't have all of these things for yourself, how can you have them for somebody else? And then secondly, how can you expect somebody to have it for you? If you're not kind to yourself, if you don't have love for yourself, if you can't accept yourself for who you are, if you always got to think that you're perfect, how do you think other people are supposed to react to you? Right? And we all know the people that don't have any respect for themselves and they get treated as such. You know how people, and that's messed up to bring them up, but streetwalkers, people feel like they don't have to, respect streetwalkers maybe because of how they carry themselves or something like that. The ones on the corner. Now the escorts carry themselves a little differently, so they're not looked at as bad as the women that's on the corner walking back and forth, but they're doing the same thing, just in different elements, right? So it's all a matter of perception, and it's all a matter of how you carry yourself. Sometimes I feel like loving others is easier than loving myself. Well, it's not really loving others, especially if you don't love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, there's no way you can love somebody else. So that's not really love then. Those are other things other than love, right? Maybe it's wanting or seeking, but it's not really actually having or obtaining love if you don't love yourself. And these are hard pills to swallow. I've most certainly been there. These are hard pills to swallow. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love nobody else. So, it's something that you're running away from when you feel like that about you, and that's some things that you're going to have to address. Why do you feel like it's easier to love other people than to love yourself? What are you gauging yourself to? What are you comparing yourself to? Right? I'm not going to lie, I miss my whole face sometimes. Man, when I was younger, woo! Exactly. Right? But people respect you, and people react to you based off of how you carry yourself. Right? We know that 100% for sure. People respond to you how you carry yourself. For instance, I was in the police academy. I went to the police academy. I graduated. I never got hired onto an agency, but technically I was a law enforcement officer for a year because of certification. But I never hired onto an agency. But all through training and time again, they'd have us watch videos and they would show a police officer with an unkempt uniform. This motherfucker got creases and food and shit eating all over his uniform, where you got the fat, sloppy officers, going to chase somebody they can't even run. Our automatic perception of the officer says, oh, this motherfucker's sweet. You know what I mean? They're going to be the ones to get shot at, before an officer with a nice, crisp, clean uniform, standing upright, working out. Somebody's going to challenge that sloppy cop before they challenge the cop with the crisp, clean uniform. You know what I mean? So it's all about how you carry yourself, you know. Third stage of shadow work. Oh no, we're still on there. Okay. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to let go of is the next question. I know for me is the only thing perfect is imperfection. I need to let go of trying to fit in, which I have a long time ago. At this point, I don't even care anymore. Now I'm working on issues of being judged. That's why I have anxiety when I was going live. I would always be scared. What are people going to say about me? They're going to laugh about me. I don't have all these fabulous clothes. I'm not wearing fake weave. I don't got fucking makeup all caked on my fucking face. I'm not beautiful like other people. Like, I'm not skinny. I don't have nice boobs and a nice butt and all this other shit. And I don't have name brand clothes a different fucking brand new outfit for every day of the goddamn week. Was scared of being judged, right? Geechee Fairy Godmother says codependency. Right, that's another thing. Having to, depend on others and not yourself, or thinking that you have to. Another thing that I go through, Katrina says other people's judgment of me, my own judgment of myself. Right. Judgment is harsh, right? Another thing that I go through is the victim archetype. The victim, playing the victim card, always wanted to blame somebody for your situation instead of saying, you know what? I'm completely responsible for my situation. No matter how fucked up it is, it's solely on me because I alone control who I am and what I'm capable of and not capable of. So the victim archetype, I know that I need to let go of, and it's slowly dissipating day by day. So judgment, victim archetype. What else do I need to let go of? Trying to be perfect, trying to do right. I've always been, and I think it was because I was made fun of and picked on so much. I always tried to be the teacher's pet or try to do everything right all the time so I could be accepted by teachers and stuff like that. And then, so the last question for this stage is, what do I need to forgive myself for? I need to forgive myself for how I used to be, and I'm not the same person. So forgive yourself for who you used to be when you didn't know no better. That's my problem, not forgiving myself for who I used to be before I knew better. For things that's happened in my past that, thinking back, I could have done something different. At the time, I didn't know. Or my morals and my ethics were different. Right? Katrina says I need to forgive myself for giving away my power. That too. Forgive yourself for giving away your power. You didn't know better, now you know when you're taking back your power. So you're letting go. So going back to what do I need to let go of? Guilt and shame, right? That's a big thing for a lot of us. That's what holds us back from greatness is guilt and shame. E.T. Fairy Godmother says, forgive myself for being kind when kindness wasn't given to me. Exactly. Forgive yourself for allowing people to use you and abuse you, right? Forgive yourself for not standing up for yourself in certain situations where you felt like you should have. Forgive yourself for being an asshole to people who didn't deserve it, right? Taking things out on people because people did it to you, Fourth stage of shadow work, transmutation. Transmutation is the process of taking something and turning it into something else. We see this a lot with celebrities. You ever hear a celebrity say, when I was little, somebody told me I couldn't do this, and then I grew up, and this is who I am now. Because they took that shit. You're never going to amount to nothing. You ain't going to be shit. You can't do this. You can't do that. And they took that energy and they fed it. They fed it and they fed it and they fed it and they used it to fuel their success. Okay. So that's what transmutation is, when you take a feeling and an emotion and you use it to fuel your ambitions and your goals, right? The first question is, how can I balance my feminine side? Now, feminine is not literally feminine like girl. So feminine energy has to deal with receiving and giving. Okay. How do you balance your feminine side? By allowing people to do for you. Okay. I always thought that I always had to, I don't let anybody do for you, allowing people to do things for you out of the kindness of their heart. Now, I'm not talking about the people that they want something in return. I'm talking about people who genuinely want to do things for you. I had a hard time with saying, yes, self-care, right? Get you fairy godmother. Self-care is another way that you can balance your feminine side. Self-care, active listening, allowing people to do things for you, being passive all the time. You don't always have to be aggressive and always talking. Sometimes it's just good to listen. I'm always running my mouth. I always feel like I got to make a point. I got to have the last word. Sometimes let somebody else have the last word. It's not going to take away from you and who you are, and it doesn't validate or invalidate you, right? Next question is, how can I balance my masculine side? This is the doing, the action. The masculine is the action. You can balance your masculine side by working towards your goals and ambitions. Taking back your personal power, the victim archetype, and taking back your personal power and doing for yourself. That's another way to balance your masculine side. If you're a person who thinks that you're entitled and somebody should always give you something, that's an abuse of your feminine side. When you feel entitled, me, everybody should do this for me because I'm pretty or I'm whatever. How can I strengthen my bond with loved ones? How can I strengthen my bond with loved ones? Being more assertive is definitely for your masculine. That is correct. How can I strengthen my bond with loved ones? First and foremost, listening. Letting them know that you can listen. And these are loved ones that need to be in your circle, not ones that are not, coagulating with the person that you're becoming and are growing with you. I'm talking about people that are willing to work with you on things, right? Instagram, I got about 8 more minutes, but I don't want this to cut off, so I'm just going to go ahead and end it now, and then I'm going to come back on. So, how can I strengthen my bond with loved ones? Katrina says, working through our issues, letting others know how I feel for them. So a lot of issues that we have, especially people that don't know how to communicate, is that we feel like because we can't communicate with somebody, that's it. They never need to be in our life, hey boo, ever again, and we cut them off. Some people don't need to be cut off. Some people just don't know how to work through solutions and problems, and that's real out here. That's why a lot of relationships don't work either, because people don't know how to work through solutions and problems. You get into an argument with somebody and you cut them off. You don't know how to express yourself. You don't know how to communicate your anger, listen, and talk it out and try to mend it. We don't know how to mend relationships because we don't know how to communicate. How can I strengthen my bond with my loved ones? So learning how to communicate is definitely going to help strengthen a bond, because if you learn how to communicate, then you can mend that situation, right? You can mend that situation at some point, everybody doesn't have to be cut off. Everybody doesn't have to be. Communication, especially in the Black community, is crazy. We don't know how to communicate. I grew up, my mom beat my ass. There was no talking. My mom beat my ass. What? My mom beat my ass. There was no communicating. It was just ass whooping, period. Now, when I had children, I chose to do something different. When my kids messed up, no matter how angry I was, even if they was gonna get a spanking, I would always have them tell me what it is, what was wrong with the situation that they were in. It is a slave culture. I would always ask my children, why are you in trouble? What did you do? Tell me what happened. And I would have them explain, and I would say, are those good choices? What could you have done differently? I walk them through different scenarios and I allow them to express themselves. Even sometimes, I allow my kids to tell me what they do and don't like sometimes, to a certain respectively. Mom, I don't like when you do this. Mom, I don't like when you do that. Can you not, I give my children a voice, because if I don't give them a voice, how they gonna have a voice out there in the real world if I'm constantly trying to shut them up and tell them? Now I do tell them sometimes, do as I say, not as I do. But ultimately speaking, my children know that they can. I got one right here, and she know I'm telling the truth. I allow my children to communicate and express themselves, because if I don't do it, how they gonna do it out in the world? Be quiet, little girl. I'm Switzerland. So, I allow my children to express themselves. I allow them, respectively. I allow them to have a voice. We communicate. We have discussions about things. It's not just, oh, you fucked up, I'm gonna beat your ass. No, we're gonna talk about the problem and what can we do to fix it. I have them write me essays of what can they do better. Um, I give them opportunities to make amends. I just don't beat their fucking ass. I give them an opportunity for them to fix the situation. And that's something that I wasn't afforded when I was little. It was just you getting your motherfucking ass beat. Diana Art says patience while communicating. Exactly. Patience is key. So this is how you can strengthen your bond with your loved ones. Having patience, letting others know how you feel for them, working through issues. That slave culture, that slave mentality got to go. These kids are speaking and voicing themselves. And the reason why these younger kids are doing all types of crazy shit, all these kids are overdosing. Like my era, it was cool to be the drug dealer. In this era, it's cool to do the drugs. It's because they don't have an outlet. We're attacking them for their music. I mean, when I grew up, Biggie and Tupac and all that other stuff, everybody hated that. The older people, like, and look at us, we turn around and we're doing the same thing to the younger generation. We're not allowing them, we're not respecting whatever emotions they're going through. That's how they express themselves. So allowing people to express themselves and be themselves is one way that you can strengthen your bond with your loved ones. I know in the Black community, we have an issue with LGBTQ plus, and I may not agree with all of these new genders and pronouns, and somebody clearly has a beard and they want to be called a female, like, it's a culture shock. It's a real serious shock, especially for us if we're older, you know what I mean? But ultimately, allowing people to express themselves and be who they are is what's going to strengthen the bond. We blackball the gay community. We blackball gay people in the Black community. Kick kids out the house. All types of stuff so they can go out there and get killed. All these transgender people getting killed. Like, if I made you, I don't care what you are. How can you kick something out the house that you made because of their sexual orientation? Granted, like I said, we don't always have to agree, but ultimately, I'm not going to kick my kid or abandon my kid out the house because of their sexual preference. I'm just going to have to learn to deal with it. That's love, especially if they're being respectful about it. Just because you gay don't mean you won't be able to bring your girlfriend up in my house or something like that. You know what I mean? Or, your boyfriend or whatever. Like, nah, we still gonna have the same rules apply, but acceptance, we all got some shit we don't want nobody to know about. Everybody has skeletons in their closet. You know what I mean? And just think about that before you go and judge people. Next question is, how do I transmutate my anger? How do I transmutate my anger? There are a number of ways you can transmutate your anger. If you're a creative, you can do art, you can do music, poetry. I used to do spoken word. can exercise. Those are several ways. Journal, right? P Love says I dance, right? Dancing, singing. These are all ways that you can transmutate your anger, right? I love walking when I'm mad. Exactly. And if you're walking when you're angry, you know you're walking fast as shit, so you burning calories. I visualize happiness. Exactly. Exactly. Music to relax, right? So these are all ways that we can transmutate our anger. The last and final question is, well, it's not the final question. Second to the last question is, how do I transmutate my fear? I know for me, I have to work through the fear, you know? Like, for instance, now me doing these workshops, I already know when I do these workshops that people aren't going to tune in the way they do when I come on here doing free live and donation based readings, or when I do readings. Because so I used to have a fear, oh, I'm not going to have that many people on my live. Guess what? I don't care. I don't care, because if you're here, it's meant for you to hear it. You know what I mean? And so I had to work through that fear, anxiety of being live and being public to the people. That's a real fear of mine. And so me transmuting it is, I just work through it. I just work with it. I use it to help me with whatever it is I got going on, right? How do you transmutate your fear? I don't know no other way but to just work through it, to be honest. Y'all help me out if y'all got some other ways, but in order for me to transmute my fear, I just got to work through it. I have to work through it. I went to Hershey Park this summer, and I'm completely scared of heights. Like, my stomach, I don't know, in my past life, I must have fucking like fell off a plane or a cliff or some shit, because I literally cannot stand heights. And so I took it upon myself. I went on this ride that like took you above the ground, above the park. I fucking was scared the whole entire time, but I did it, right? And so I have to work through my shit. Katrina says, understanding that fear is a natural emotion, it shows me where I can grow. Exactly. Understanding that you don't have to be afraid of fear, that fear is a mechanism built in to show you where you need to grow, or understanding what fear is used for is to alert you when there's danger. You know what I mean? There's no danger here. Nobody can hurt me. I could literally shut off Instagram, shut off YouTube, disable my accounts. Y'all ain't never got to see this shit again. Try to take as much of it off the internet as I can. But literally, if I don't go on the internet, I don't have to worry about being scared, right? So understand that fear serves a purpose. And when it's misused, that's when it's detrimental to you. And as a society, America and across the world now, they're using fear to scare us. My daughter's going to London next year. Everybody kept saying, mostly Black people, you gonna let your daughter get on the plane? Yeah. You know how many fucking people fly? Just because your ass ain't fly don't mean I'm not gonna and I've never gotten out of the country. I want to get out the country now that my daughter's gonna be able to get out the country. But why should I stop her because of y'all fears? You know how many people fly on a plane? Do you know how many plane crashes there are? It's not really that many. And if y'all worry about 9/11, I even debate whether that shit. We all know that 9/11 was an inside job. Like, come on. Like, planes don't fucking fall down unless people make them at this point in time. It's very rarely that there are plane crashes where it's actually from malfunction or some shit like that. You know what I mean? People being limited by their own fears, and they try to limit other people. Right. It's more likely to die in the car, or alcoholism. And alcoholism based off car crashes from people being drunk and driving. So it's like, come on. So we limit ourselves by our fears, and society controls us with fear. If you watch the news all the time, you're going to be scared to death. You're scared of your neighbor. People don't even want to talk to their neighbors. Your community is not your enemy. Your community is not your enemy. The government is. Fear versus intuition, right? Triggered by the conversation. That's my issue, right? And again, those triggers That's something that you have to work on, because that doesn't necessarily mean it was a personal attack, right? But, both of my favorite artists passed through plane and car accident, right? So, like I said, society programs you, the news. You turn on the news, somebody got shot, this person got shot, that person got shot, and we know that they show the Black community killing each other more than any other race. And crime is not a Black on Black thing. Crime happens in the proximity of where you live at, and that's just what it is. I watched the first 48 or that fucking that thumbprint logo show, and it ain't nothing but white people on there, fucking white women killing their husbands. One show I watched, this woman she blew her husband's his head clean off. He was sitting on the couch. She blew his head off and tried to say that it was an accident. And she was white and he was white. So it's not nothing about no Black on Black crime, and crime happens in the vicinity of where you live at, the proximity of where you live at, right? It's just what it is. They got us scared, of all types of stuff. Everybody commits crime, period, right? And crime is not really as high as we think it is. Actually, crime has gone down. That's another thing that I learned in the police academy. Crime is not up the way we think it is. That's the illusion that they want us. If they can't project fear, how are they going to control us? So, we got to think about these things here. All right. Now, if you live in an inner city, of course it's going to be crime, but we talking about the entire United States. Like, crime ain't all what they saying it is. All right. So we have to realize what's real fear versus what's illusion. All right. And so our last and final question of the night. Well, this section is called healing. Healing. And I'll leave you with the question is, who have I become? After you work through all of this, now this is one question a day for 21 days. Katrina says fear is more like to be a loud red buzzing light. Intuition is a tap on the shoulder and a nod in the right direction. Right. Healing. Who have I become? After all these questions, after you've asked yourself this question once a day, you go back and you look at everything, and then you ask yourself, who have I become? After you've gone through this journey of going to the dark side of you, right? The dark side. That's why I love Star Wars. The Jedi and the Siths. That's all it's about, is an inner battle. You know what I mean? Who have I become after all of this? Who have I become? For me, I've become a person that realizes that I don't know everything that I think I do know. I've become a person that needs to realize that sometimes it's just better to be quiet and just to observe and take everything in. I've become a person that realizes that in this time and the society that we live in, it's okay to not do what everybody else is doing, right? It's okay to not do what everybody else is doing. It's okay to not go with the crowd, Who have I become? Right? So these are really deep. They're simple questions, but they really have you thinking. They really have you thinking about who you are. Again, your moral and ethical code will come in. Fears will come up, triggers will come up, all types of things will come up. While you're doing this, right, Katrina says, I'm excited to go on this journey and finally be able to answer the question, who am I? It's a beautiful feeling when you realize who you are and what you stand for. And people fear that. When you know who you are, you're gonna intimidate a lot of people. You could just come into a room, and the thing is, the crazy thing is, I get this so much. I get this. This is how I know that I'm evolving into who I am. I get this all the time that I'm intimidating. I'm 5'3", okay? I'm 5'3", and I have people at my job. I've heard it for a majority of my life, people tell me that they're intimidated by me. And it's just my presence. It's because I know myself, because I'm not scared to be my true self. I'm not ashamed of who I am, and I love myself. And nothing that anybody says can take that away from me anymore. It took me a long time to get to that place. Nothing that you say, he says, she says, that person says can take away from who I feel about me. Right? I've been beat down so much it don't even matter no more. I've been beat down so much, not physically, but literally, emotionally, that all I had was me. All I had was me. All I had was me. I've been blackballed so much. All I had was me. And that's how I learned how to love myself. And I didn't need nobody else. I enjoy my company. Sometimes I don't even like being around people. You know, sometimes I don't even like being around people because I enjoy my own company. I'm not one of them people that, oh, I get bored. I need to be around somebody all the time. I can't sit and be by myself. Why? What is it? I love myself. I can stare in the mirror, looking at myself, checking on, my flaws. I love everything about me and who I am. Listen to music. That's that Capricorn energy. Facts. I don't need nobody. I just got me. Me. Sometimes I'll be at my house, not a TV on, not nothing, just dead silence. Me and the dog. Right? I don't even need TV. I don't need music. Sometimes I can just be in here dead silent. I got me and my thoughts and my demons and my spirit guides and my ancestors, right? And I just be evaluating life and just loving my company, just loving the company of me, right? If you can't appreciate yourself, ain't nobody gonna appreciate you. If you can't love yourself, ain't nobody gonna love you. If you can't accept yourself, ain't nobody gonna accept you. And these are things, and this is why this is important. This 21 question, release the shadow challenge is important. Okay. And so with that being said, YouTube, I'm gonna give you two options here. Let me get my new mailing list. I done switched over from ConvertKit to from MailChimp. And so I'm learning how to maneuver this. So what you can do, if you're not already a subscribe, you guys are probably already subscribed, but just in case, I'm going to, where is the landing page? I'm going to give you this landing page. Subscribe. What am I doing here? No, I want the page. Share. Here we go. Instagram, all you got to do is click the link in the bio. Click the link in the bio and you sign up. All right, you can do two things. You can subscribe to my mailing list, or you can cop this product, Release the Shadow. It's the journal and it's the PDF. I've created a journal where you can take each question and you can write in it. It's a literal journal. You can print it out. It's not a hard copy. It's pages. You can do a 3-hole puncher, or you can do a clasp, or you can staple. I recommend either 3-hole puncher, put it in a binder, or do the clasp, right? What I'm going to do is, if you want to wait, now this is why you're going to have to be subscribed to my mailing list right now, because I am going to allow this to stay up for anybody that wants to view it. It's going to be available for 24 hours after I end this live. Okay. 24 hours. So that means 11:22 at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's coming down. The reason why it's coming down is it's going to be a bundle. I'm going to put this workshop with the journal and with the PDF, just like I did for the new moon ritual. The new moon ritual is a bundle. It's the journal, it's the workshop that I did the other day, and it's the PDF to guide you. Okay. And so that's what I'm doing for every workshop that I do. It's going to come into a bundle, and it's going to be cheaper than you getting each individual piece. Okay. So that's just something to think about. Also, I want you to check out my other products that I've got. If you're interested in learning tarot. Also, this is what I need y'all to do. How many of y'all shop at Amazon? I know y'all shop at Amazon. Everybody shop at Amazon. All right, how do I find my store? So hold on. I'm an influencer with Amazon. Okay, so let me see. How do I get my store? Manage my storefront, my page. Here we go. All right, so share my storefront. Here we go. Please sign up if y'all want to know the products that I use to do my products or things that I read that I get, anything that I get from Amazon, it's going to be on my storefront. Okay, so please follow me on Amazon. Follow me on Amazon, y'all, and then I'm going to be creating lists of all the products that I use to create my products, spiritual tools that I use. There's all going on my list on Amazon. Okay, so Amazon has this new influencer program. All right, so please follow me on here, and like I said, check out all the things that I'm going to be listing. I just got approved today, so I will be listing more and more stuff as time goes on. If you ever have a question or ever want to know, hey, what does she use? What are the spiritual tools that she use? Go right to my Amazon storefront and you can see what I buy off of Amazon. Okay. Alrighty. Does anybody have any questions about? Oh, okay. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we went over tonight? Does anybody have any questions about anything that we went over tonight? Another thing that would be good to go with the 21 questions is the cord cutting. I'm gonna drop that link too. I'm gonna need to replay this video. So yeah, this video is gonna replay for 24 hours and then it's gonna be packaged into a bundle. Okay. So like I said, if you're on my mailing list, you'll have access. My mailing list, my Patreon account, or my Facebook group. You will have access to the bundle before I put it out to anybody else. And the reason why I'm doing this is so I just dropped the link right above you. That's the cord cutting. It's only $199. Okay, it's only $199 for right now. All this stuff is gonna go up soon. All right. But thank you. You offer so much help. You're most welcome because nobody helped me. I had to find it. And everybody's always out there scamming. African spirituality. They always, I don't know. I just all this stuff, and that's why I come at number one. I'm a Rosicrucian. Everybody doesn't really know what that is, right? But I come from the middle path. You know, I'm not locked into one religion or spirituality because I know that they all represent the one divine source. I get from the divine. I don't need to be initiated into a religion or a group, so to speak. My magic comes from my ancestors. My power comes from my ancestors and my spirit guides, and that's what I try to help people understand. That you don't need to go to a Babawalu or whatever they're called, or you don't have to go to the Haitian voodoo and all of this stuff. Everybody got the same power. If you got a lineage, you got power. Even if you don't know your lineage, if you're adopted or something like that, you've been adopted into that your family's lineage. So we have lineage, and then there's ways that you can find somehow, some way. You can still call upon your ancestors whether you know them or not. They're always going to be there for you when you call out. You don't need to be initiated not into nothing. Okay, you don't need to be initiated to nothing. They be in my DMs too. I'm like, do y'all literally see my page? They be like, yeah. How is your spiritual? Like, do you literally see my page? Like, get out of here. So, with that being said, I hope you guys utilize the tools that I'm giving out. And like I said, Make sure you click on those links. Instagram, click the link in my bio, go to my digital products. Make sure you're subscribed to my mailing list so that you'll get this bundle when it comes out, okay? It's available for 24 hours on every platform, and then I'm taking it down, okay? And so with that being said, oh, that's all I can be, is honest and direct. All right, and you guys are great. I'm Instagram, I'm getting on first. End this, save it, share. And YouTube, let me see what my schedule is. Let me let y'all know. Hold on. So, what's today? Wednesday. Tomorrow, I will be doing promo and advertising for businesses. Depending on how that goes, how short it goes, I may do some free live, free readings too. But Friday, I'll be doing free live readings again. Okay, I know everybody's gonna be up in here on Friday. All right, so another day knocked off my 30-day going live challenge. I don't know where I'm getting this energy and ambition from, but I'm going with it. So the whole row is going. All right. So I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.